Welcome back. It's Jason with your Hopium Free Crypto channel. Today we've got another live stream, and today I'm looking at the price where I can see whales buying Bitcoin, or in this case, institutional money. So I'll get to that article today as well, and then we'll just sort of layer in where that price would be and see whether that lines up with some support and resistance. I've got some crypto news. Can you believe it? We're going to look at some crypto news stuff. And then, of course, come back to our fear and greed plan, which we know now from the comments we know have hit 10 today. So that's another purchasing time for the fear and greed plan. So stick around for that. I'll make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. We got daily Q&As at the moment. I was answering some of those this morning. So if you're not following on Instagram, make sure you're doing that. And of course, don't get scammed. I've got a scam article coming up as well. I can't believe people getting scammed still. But, you know, I guess if you're new to the space, it's kind of easy to do at times. Just make sure you're always looking at who you are talking to in DMs. So yeah, make sure you hit the like, subscribe. Let's cut across and have a look at the charts. Well, the coin market cap. Let me share a screen. Excellent. So market cap is now 1.2 trillion. Bitcoin, we know from yesterday, fell to 29,300, 400. It's going to get your questions up here. And then we had ETH at under now 1,800. That's pretty good. We're getting it nice, nice and low priced ETH. Awesome. I've got you guys here on the side. Excellent. All right, so that's the main thing. And the other thing we're looking at here is Cardano. Is it going to go under $1? I think so. I definitely think we're going to see a Cardano under $1. Ethereum, look, we're going to get back to that. Probably we've got the support level around 1,400. So, you know, we're not too far off that now. But what we've noticed is the pricing has slowed. You know, the sharp drops are definitely slowing down. XRP obviously taking its tumble as it usually does. But yeah, some cheap Cardano. I put a poll up today on Twitter asking if you think Cardano would ever be at 80 cents or under. And so far, the majority of people have been saying yes. Can you imagine asking that question 2 months ago? You'd be called an absolute moron, fudder. It's never going to happen. History. And for cryptocurrency, we don't even have to go back that far. It could be a couple of months. And the sentiment changes so quick. You know, at one point you're full that you're taking profits. The next minute you're an idiot for not telling me to take profits. This is just cryptocurrency, and the longer you stay in it, the more it's just like water off a duck's back, and you just get on with doing what you want to do in the market. So 1.2 trillion, we are under the 50% level, our 50% hold, and our 50% from the high to zero. Fear and greed. Fear and greed, 10. It's another buying opportunity. So let's go to our plan and our price. Where is our price? 29, I think it was 29.88. I'll check it out in just a sec. But that gives us, actually, right here. Okay, cool. Around 29,793. All right, so that's today's price, 29,793. We now have 12 lots of Bitcoin that were purchased on this plan, and the price is 29,793. Just doing this live so you guys can see me just filling in the plan, and then we will go 1,000 divided by 29,793. It gives us 0.033564. 33564. So that's what we have. We are down 12%. So there was the other option that I gave everyone on Twitter. Maybe I posted it on YouTube, but at least I put it on to Twitter and mentioned it on a stream the other day, that the other option could be we sell out of our entire position if we break down from the support, and the support's around 28,500, 28,600, and then we start to buy back in again. That's one option. That option's more like a trader option, and for people that don't have any more capital. But if you have more capital, you're looking to invest monthly, maybe you don't want to take that option because it does require more time, and I would say a higher level of skill to be able to execute it because of emotions. It's pretty straightforward. It's just sell at this price, then start to buy back again. But when you see your portfolio down, and it would have to go another $1,000, so it'd have to be, say, 28,500, with maybe you'd even do it a few $100 underneath just in case it's a false break. So your portfolio is down nearly 20%. It just requires that extra level to actually commit to it and then start to buy back again at lower prices, knowing that it can continue going lower and lower, right? But you don't know at the time whether Bitcoin is going to be 30 grand, 33 grand, and then shoot up to 45 and back to all-time highs, or these are good prices and you want to buy again as it continues to scale down. You're just prepared for it, which is what we talked about when we first started this plan. We knew that, sure, we could be buying in these low 30s and Bitcoin could go to 20. It just means we keep buying in the low 20s. We average out at about 28K Bitcoin, 26K Bitcoin, and we just ride it up to whatever the next all-time high price is. So if we've got an average of, say, 25 for round numbers, 100, 125 grand, now we've got some great multiples, rather than buying at all-time highs of 60,000, which you wouldn't even get 100% if you bought it 55, 60, 65,000 at those highs. So it just keeps you out of buying really high prices. That's the main driver here, is just stay away from buying really high prices. Okay, Google Trends. I just wanted to bring this up again. We used to look at it quite a lot during January when the market was really, really hot. Bitcoin over time, we got 5 years here. I just see a little bit of a trend where we got higher lows, even though we are down for a very long time. You can see Bitcoin is at around 9, 8, and then previously it's down to 2. So it just means, although this is a moving scale, so as more interest comes into this comparison into Google Trends, this will start to push these figures down. We're still getting higher lows. So there's more and more interest coming into the space. And although it seems like crypto is dead, we still have much higher interest in Bitcoin searches than what we had throughout all of almost all of 2018, but the majority of 2018, 2019, and about 3/4 of the way through 2020. Still for look out for that. SwiftX. This is our portfolio here. I was talking a few live streams ago that what have we done here? We've sold out of Link, and there was another crypto I remember selling. But either way, we'd sold out of those, put it into USD or a stable currency in preparation of further falls. I held on to Solana and ADA because they were holding up the best against their Bitcoin values. I do know they're going to go down, but I want to be exposed to both sides of the market. In case it went up, then I saw these two being reasonably strong. Ethereum's also pretty strong. And, I could continue to ride the market up, but then still have my good chunk of, your dry powder. So I'm waiting on this. I'll probably start to get some Bitcoin soon because, we're looking at this plan over here. There is a lot to keep up with. So keep that in mind. Really just keep to one plan. It's so much easier. And then just keep to a portfolio. So, we got this portfolio going on. I was looking at this as well, but I think this just keeps it all listed out for us, and it keeps it really straightforward where it's just Bitcoin. So who is buying this Bitcoin at 26,000? I got WHALES, I got institutions. Kathy Woods, ARK buys another 310,000 Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares. So not 310,000 Bitcoin, just the shares. So that was at $25 per share. Total amount only worth about 8 million at time of purchase. It's not huge, like it says here. It's not a massive amount of Bitcoin that they've purchased, but the timing of this purchase suggests that the firm made the move as soon as Bitcoin dipped below 30K. With the latest acquisition, ARK now has a total holding of 9.1 million Grayscale shares, thus bringing the weighting of Gbtc into the ETF to just over 4%. So in the ARK ETF, they have about just over 4% exposure to Bitcoin. Further to this, further insight also revealed the fund took advantage of the market dip to stock up on Coinbase. So they're buying Coinbase shares now rather than at the tops where it was over $400. I haven't checked it recently, but the last I saw it was around 220, 250. So this is where I'm getting the number from when we look at Bitcoin and where they're getting it. So the share at the moment is about 14% down. They bought it, if I'm looking at this article, they're buying it just as it dipped below 30K. So I've got my target here of 29,900. And then I've just dropped it 14% because this is the difference in Bitcoin price to the Gbtc share price. So it's actually 14.5% cheaper than what Bitcoin's current price is. So that means they have that much leeway before they're actually, I guess, in a negative, at a loss, paper loss to the real Bitcoin price. But if they wanted to sell those shares, then yes, they would be at that extra 14% loss if the premium stayed down at that 14%. But what I suspect Kathy is going to, I suspect they're looking at the price or the premium of the Grayscale Investment Trust increasing again. For whatever reason, Litecoin's premium's 400%. You got to be mad. So just because they're institutional investors, not talking about ARK, but if there are institutions or there are mum and dad investors buying GBTC or GLTC in their Roth IRA, they're absolute morons. Buying it at a 400% premium. This is just what I'm reading off the website here. And then also Bitcoin Cash at a ridiculous premium. Sorry, it's not GLTC, it's LTCN and BCHG. So I guess Bitcoin Cash Grayscale. It's at a 200% premium. That's absolutely crazy. So yeah, looking at the GBTC price, 14% off. They're buying it at a rough price of around 25 grand, 25,700 from that price just under $30,000. And that allows them, I guess, the leeway. That's a bit of a buffer room in case Bitcoin continues to fall. Then it's come out at a reasonable level as well. Check this out. So 26 grand. We know that that's an approximate price that they bought in at. So this is ARK Invest. The timing of the purchase suggests that the firm made the move as soon as Bitcoin dipped below 30,000. There it is, below 30,000. There's the 14-ish% off. 3 through to 24. But then there's this minor level here. And I guess they can also give some leeway to themselves should the market continue to fall. I guess they're not that concerned. They're sort of looking at that zone as more buying opportunity. So, excuse me. So can retail buy this as well? I just simply put it into Google. Can retail investors buy GBTC? So can we take advantage of this 14% discount? Would I do it? No. That's okay. But it is possible. And there's an example, GBTC can be traded through a brokerage firm and is also available within tax-advantaged accounts like IRAs or 401ks. So that's open to the average investor. Mum and dad investors, you got your Roth, your IRAs or your 401ks. Then this option is there for you as well, the GBTC. So you could take advantage of the 14% premium on that, or negative 14%, which means you're buying it cheaper than the current market price. So yeah, I think that's an interesting one to continue watching and just see where ARK Invest, they start to continue to make their purchases. I guess I likened that to reasonable support areas in the $20,000 range. We have this range here around that 19.5, which was a previous all-time high. And then that brought us up to just our little zone here of 22, 23K, 24K. And so they're buying it just in that zone, or just a little way above that. And I suspect they'll probably buy a little more if the market continues to fall. As we've talked about before, and I won't go over it too many more times, we still see the volume drying up here. There's not much volume left in this market. And we definitely want to see some big volume come in to give us something to stop, some sort of stopping volume. Or at least if that doesn't happen, we want to see some volume take us to new highs. obviously not new all-time highs, but new local highs to break through some of these resistance levels at around your 34, 35, 36K. But at the moment, it's still just dropping off. Nothing much is going on. And I think people are still sort of worried about what's happening in the broader economy and also the stock market. Speaking of which, my brother's channel, Michael Pizzino, I'm giving him a plug here. Go and check him out. Oh, if you haven't, like, subscribe, bell, click all. That's how it's done. So Michael's talked about this as well. He is a short-term trader. So always looking at both sides of the market. What could happen if we go up? What could happen if we go down? Go and give him a follow. And he's gone through this looking at the broader market, ETH, and also Bitcoin review. Very good updates. I obviously pay attention to what Michael's saying, and so does the Investor Accelerator crew as well. You can find a link to all of that down below. But yeah, I thought I'd just bring him up in case you were interested in learning more about the market, even more than what I have to say. Michael's very good at this and looking at the news, because the news headlines, it's just another way to distract us. It's more noise. Let's go and look at some of the noise today. We have to be up to date with it. Like, we need to know what's going on. We can't just be completely blasé. But like I've maintained, it's not something that I want to trade off of nonstop. You know, it's not something I go, oh, wow, institutional investors plan to buy cryptocurrencies in the future. Cool. You know, it's new investors will look at this and say, well, if they're going to do it, I better do it now, get in beforehand. But we have the experience of checking a chart and saying, well, maybe they will, but right now this is pointing down, and it has been pointing down for 3 months now. It's been down, down, down. So these sort of things are there just to sort of perk us up, and then we can come back to it. It doesn't need to be acted upon at that exact time that the news article comes out. So according to a recent survey, 7 out of 10 institutional investors asserted that they expect to purchase digital assets sometime in the future. What's more, over half of the participants revealed they already have invested in cryptocurrency. So they're already in it, and they're just going to purchase some more. Does that mean we need to do it right now? No, just keep following a chart. This one's interesting. This is one of the scams that came up. I just want to bring this up. Like, an 86-year-old woman and her 54-year-old son embezzled more than $12 million from 277 investors. Now, I'm not trying to be, is the word ageist here, but come on. Wow, that's crazy. 86-year-old woman is doing better than the scammers on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Well done. But I don't promote going into Ponzi schemes. Jeez, come on. FTX is 900 million, so it's the value of 18 billion. They're always out there. They're crushing it. FTX is going to be one of the big ones, which we've talked about plenty of times before. Also been posting about this to the guys in the Investor Accelerator Lite and also the Premium Group. I was looking at this on a trade. It's not there yet. It was looking reasonably good, but FTX is definitely one I'm keeping on my list, and I often don't hear too many people talking about it. I would definitely keep it on your list and do more research into it. Could it be another Binance? Who knows? Sam's definitely got a ton of money, a billionaire at 29, or even earlier. So definitely have the connections there to make this thing go big. Other things, Circle reveals backing by its pegged dollar. I'm bringing this up because we had a lot of talk about USDT, so that was Tether, that was supposed to be crashing the market. Where did that news go? I don't know. Yesterday was the Delta strain of the China virus was supposed to be crashing the market. Where did that go today? I don't know. I don't see any more headlines about that. And that's what Michael's talking about in the beginning of this video as well, news headlines. It's just noise after noise after noise. So where did all that go? Where did USDT go? I don't know. Was anything actually happening? I don't know. Does it really matter? Probably not. Looking at this, Circle reveals backing behind its dollar-pegged cryptocurrency, USDC. Here it is. Circle held 22 billion in its account at the time of the report. More than 60% of that number, or 13 billion, is held in cash. So USDC, 26.7 billion. So I guess at the time of the report, you know, it had 4 billion less. Okay, so that was the total. 60% of that 13 billion is in cash. Where's the rest of it? Yankee CDs, US Treasuries, commercial paper, corporate bonds, municipal bonds, and US agencies. So that makes up their total amount here. yeah, USDT, I don't think was looking as good, but it's not like all of them were 100% what everyone was expecting, one-to-one dollars in that bank account. It's all equivalent. It's all equivalent. Public disclosure of stablecoins is not currently a legal requirement, but Circle now joins the leading stablecoin provider, Tether, in disclosing its operations. So that's a good thing. That's nice self-regulation brought to the market. That's what we want. We don't want these guys getting involved and starting to lay the law down in a decentralized space. That's my view anyway. Headlines. I don't see anything else about USDT. Is it positive? Is it negative? I think the negativity has really started to wear thin on the market. Let's go back to this. And I think people are sort of getting a little bit sick of hearing about negativity. And so the news headlines are really noticing that. And I don't see much to do with too much negativity here. Crypto is a nice one to look at. Last thing I want to jump on is this thread. We've looked at this a few times before. I've put into some videos. It's a great thread, Secrets of Crypto on Twitter. This is what I've been talking about for months and months and months. Path to alt season. We don't necessarily have to get to an alt season, but that's the way the cycle works. Phase 1, Bitcoin. Flow of money moves into Bitcoin. That's what we're doing. We're not buying altcoins now. Well, I'm not buying all of the nonsense out there. No, I'm not doing that because that comes later. Next stage, Ethereum. Next stage, large caps. Next stage, alt season. Now this starts to, I guess, move around a little bit. It doesn't have to be exactly like this as the market begins to expand, but by and large, this is kind of the way I've seen it move, and this is the way I'm playing the game. Bitcoin first, and then when I start to see some of the Bitcoin valuations of other altcoins bottom and regain some strength. I don't need to buy the exact bottom. I'm not here to buy the bottom and sell the top. I want a good chunk out of the middle. Then I can start to funnel some of the Bitcoin purchases that we've made. We've got it here on the Fear and Greed Index plan. We can start to funnel that into some of those cryptos to make more Bitcoin. Now, if we happen to come up with some dry powder at those times, then we can start to put the dry powder into some of these altcoins which are at low Bitcoins. But of course, that increases the risk. That's what we're doing here. So that's something that we can look at. It's got all of the detail here. It's really, really good to go back and research this, especially at times where the market's literally not doing too much today. Most pumpable narratives. Pay attention to this and the way it pops up on YouTube. Look what's happening now. NFTs are trying to make that little comeback. Go and look at the volumes, and there's not really that much in it. Naming, oracles, ETH killers, Polkadot system, privacy. Privacy really doesn't get that much of a pump going on, and it's at the bottom end of this. Data doesn't really. Identity, it's sort of, that's at the tail end, but non-fungible tokens and Polkadot ecosystem. You could probably throw Cardano ecosystem in here as well. That'll be a pumpable narrative coming up as well. So I'll cross over to you guys. Remember Q&As on the Instagram? Go and check it out. It's not all about crypto only. There's lifestyle over here, and you can just watch me a little bit more. It's all the Q&As. So make sure you're following. Links down below. I'm going to go through this tomorrow, I think. Relative unrealized profits and loss, how we can use that in our plan. I think a lot of people love to come over this, and some were asking me about on-chain analytics. And I just think that it might be a bit difficult to throw this into some sort of plan that you can consistently use, but I'm thinking I might go into this tomorrow. So stick around. Make sure you subscribe so that you can comment on the videos as well on the live streams. And we'll excuse me, and we'll go into that in a little more detail, plus probably some of the alt BTC comparisons over there that I've got for you guys. So you're back with me. All right, let's get some Q&A. Pump narrative, the Elon Musk and B word BTC discussion tomorrow. Look, I guess, but it's not. Maybe a trade. Maybe it's like a news announcement sort of trade. Okay, but I don't see it as something that will pump the market to new all-time highs. So it depends. Are you trying to trade this, or you want to be a long-term investor? I don't see it as something that's going to kickstart the market. Thoughts on Australian housing investment moving into 2022? This applies to all the markets, really. We're looking at housing markets, housing investment. I still see that going through into the mid-2020s. I don't take on board any of these guys who are saying there's a market crash and crypto, or sorry, the housing market has to come down, the stock market will come down. It will not happen. This happened, the most recently was 2020, where we had the crash. The stock market corrected by 40% or so. They were calling for it to be the crash of all crashes. Didn't happen. I know all of the background stuff. There's money printing. There's things going on in the economy which still haven't come up to scratch. There's all this sort of stuff. It doesn't matter. It's all noise. It's all complete noise. All complete noise. Check out, where are we? Here. The Secret Life of Real Estate and Banking. Get that book. Read it. Read it. That has gone through the cycles from 1796. Okay, 220 years of cycles. It's not, I'm repeating what I've learned through these books and have seen over the last. I've been in the market property since 2006, so that's 15 years. I found the author of this back in 2012, 2013. Read the book shortly after that, so I've been following how he's been tracking the market over the last 8 years. On the money. Plus, he's got the calls out from years before, looking at those tops and bottoms. So, market crashes, big losses. We're going to get ups and downs. That's unavoidable. We're going to get moves where the market goes down and goes up, but it's not going to be this 4-year thing that people are expecting. We just like come down and crash and the game's over. Like, that comes later. That will happen. It has to happen because of the credit creation that we have in our economy, and all of the money, all of that credit creation goes back into the value of land, not your mortar and bricks and mortar here, the land itself, which is a commodity. I saw something about Meet Kevin. Meet Kevin doesn't have the deer in headlights expressions in his video thumbnails anymore, unlike you. I'm sorry. Should I change the thumbnails? I've changed them. I've tested it before. Less views. Less people click on it. I don't make the rules. I'm just playing by the game. You guys make the rules. They're the people who are clicking on the things. Buy the news, sell the rumor. Why isn't that clicking? There we go. Maybe after another crash, maybe, but for now, I don't think so. We're in a bull market. We're in a bull market. Bull markets have corrections. We may get a 15% correction on the stock market. I don't know, 10% correction, 20% correction, whatever it is during this period up until the peak, which is due later this decade, later 2020s, 2026, around that period. And after that, I don't know, maybe the cycle extends a little further. It is an 18.6-year cycle, and we're coming towards the end of that. You'll see, just think about how crazy crypto was from January through to May, how extreme it was. That still has to play out in the stock market and the land market, the real estate market. When that happens, you will know it. It has not occurred yet, and we're not at any peak. But we will have corrections. We will have corrections. Thoughts on Kathy Wood, a huge supporter of not just Tesla, but Bitcoin, interacting with Elon Musk. Sounds like good news and potential announcement of accepting BTC as tender for Tesla. Maybe. I think eventually all of this is going to come to fruition. Whether it's the Kickstarter for the bull, I don't know. I can't really say. I'm just honestly following the charts. But it's good news. It's like we've talked about. It's good to understand that as well. Because these are going to be the narratives that will probably play into the next stage. TA doesn't work well when strong market manipulate. Incorrect. TA always works. It just depends on the user. Now, I'm not a 20-year veteran of technical analysis. If there's a scammer, I'll have a look and try and get rid of it. But looking at TA, it works very, very well. And it just depends on how much time you put into it to learn the art of it. It's like learning a whole new language. You're never going to learn, well, look, the majority of people are never going to learn a whole new language within a few weeks, few months, few years. It takes a lifetime. It takes a very long time. I'm fortunate that I started about 11 years ago, 2010, August 2010. So I've had a good chunk of time at the beginning, and I've got really heavy into it in the last, 4 or 5 years as well. I had a couple of years off there as I was doing property development. I still check charts, but I wasn't as involved with it on a daily basis. But yeah, it takes a lifetime. And if you want to pursue it, definitely do it. It's extremely worthwhile. Investing is probably like one of the best careers to pursue, I believe, because you get a financial reward if if you improve and you are winning, and you also get a personal development experience as well, because you have to change the way you think. You can't be a stubborn idiot and continue to do well in the markets. I mean, depends which sort of business market we're talking about here. Do we already have the blow off top theory that traders don't need BTC anymore to buy alts? So smaller blow off top. Potentially. I don't know. I haven't noticed anything too much about that. We had a blow off top in 2019. We had one in late 2017. Some will call it 2018. Maybe now. Maybe we don't. It definitely looks like a distribution zone. It was more controlled. This peak on Bitcoin, not talking about anything else here, Bitcoin only, definitely looked a lot more controlled. Look at the peak on Ethereum, straight up spike. Look at the peak on Cardano, spike. Look at the peak on Binance, spike. So they're the others in the top 10, the big plays, right, with a lot of volume. They're all spikes. So they're still, I would say, heavily retail focused. This could be a good point to focus more on. Thanks, Sean Carter. Do we already have the blow off top theory that traders don't need BTC anymore to buy alts? I don't know if it's whether traders don't need BTC anymore to buy alts, which of course is true, but I would say that there's a lot more institutional money and a lot more experienced smart money in Bitcoin than there was during the 2017 peak. And I think that shows in the patterns on the chart. Check out the top. If you don't ETH, Cardano, Binance, all the stuff that I mentioned in the top 10. Will you be on Crypto Banter anytime soon? How about other channels or guests on yours? I've got a video that I got to release probably today, tomorrow or so with Andrew Henderson, Nomad Capitalist. I'm far more interested. I'm way more interested in learning about taxation systems across the world, government, freedom, and how to keep as much money as you can, because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. If you've ever done a simple little maths equation, this is just the power of compounding and then taxation on that, which destroys you. If you double $1 every year for 20 years or 21 years, right? If you double $1, it turns out to be $1,020,000, $1,020,000 or $1,030,000. Now, if you use that same dollar, double it every year, however, you tax it 30% on the gain every year, guess how much you get at the end of that 20 years? I'll wait to hear from you guys in the comments. Some of you may have done that what do you call it? That exercise before. Baby Doge are going to be blocked. I'll tell you the answer, but I want to see if anyone's got that. Home, I'm on the Gold Coast now. If the market cap is 1.2 trillion, and gold market cap is 10 trillion. Does that mean that if crypto market gets to the same level as gold, being 10x, okay, round number, does that mean BTC can only max 10x from here? Not necessarily, because then more money could go into what, Ethereum, Cardano. Those could start to take over some of the dominance from Bitcoin. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that, but you would expect that it would probably be more of the cash going into Bitcoin. So maybe Bitcoin doesn't 10x. It's at 600 billion now. So say Bitcoin did 10x, it got to 6 trillion, and then the altcoins, there was 4 trillion left to get it to that $10 trillion market cap. That means Bitcoin's dominance would be at 60%. We're only currently at 46.8% dominance. So that means more money would have to go into Bitcoin than the altcoins as it currently stands. But I suspect that Bitcoin will probably lose a little more ground on that. 28.7 5. All right, so you guys are answering the question that I had about taxation. Eric says around 500 grand. Lawrence says about 100 grand. So this is the question was, if you had $1 and doubled it every year, you would get about $1,030,000 at the end of 21 or 20 years, right? How much would you get if you doubled that dollar every year, but at the end of every year, you taxed it at 30%? So the gain, you just had the capital gains tax at 30% every year. So the first year you double it to $2, then you had a gain of $1. So 30% off $1, you would take 30 cents off that. So now you have $1.70, and you just keep doing that year after year after year. So someone said 100 grand, someone else says 500 grand, someone says $100, 50 grand, 40 grand. Sorry, Morbid says, 28,700, $100. Yeah, I'll put you out of your misery. It's pretty much very close to that. I remember the number was about $23,000. That is why taxation is complete theft, absolute theft of your time and mine. And we don't even control the rules to it. You do know this one, Josh. 20K. Yeah, call it around that 23 grand. It's wild. Do the numbers, put it in a spreadsheet, and you'll see how ridiculous it is. Probably a lost cause taxation. 23K. There it is. Any particular reason why Polkadot didn't hold as well as other strong alts? Are you currently holding? I am holding. That was sold out in the SwiftX account. So yeah, sold SwiftX. Where is that at? Yeah, we've only got ADA, Sol, and USD. I don't know why. Maybe it was just because they didn't get as much news come through. They didn't get as much progress. That could be it. My stream is laggy. Very, very sorry. We'll get a couple more questions. Taxation is theft. Look at you guys. You found me. We found each other. Taxation is theft. Canada, only 50% gains get taxed. Still theft. Yeah, that's after the 12 months, I think. Or I don't know taxation laws in Canada, but it's similar here. After 12 months, only 50% of the gain will get taxed. Let me. You let me down, Australian internet. Because Liam says, Nomad Capitalist has a great article on your point. How did you go about learning TA in the beginning? Books, courses, your brother, internet? Yes. Those are all course books back here, and I reference them sometimes. They're basic, like straight from the beginning all the way up, and I had a lot of it to do with GAN as well. And I found that 11 years ago. That was at the time when it wasn't, was YouTube around? YouTube's around like 15 years, maybe 10 years. I don't know. But it was at the time when it wasn't sort of like come online and learn about stuff. It was literally you go to a seminar and they would talk to you about trading and show you some charts up on the screen, the projector, and then it was like, do you want to purchase this trading course? And it was like, I think $6,000 or something like that. But it's done me well. And then they have the upgrades. It's $10,000 for this one and all this sort of stuff. So we get it pretty good. We get it pretty good these days. Where are you going to move to pay less taxes? Good questions. Some of the places that look pretty good would be Portugal for cryptocurrency investors. I don't believe there is any tax on cryptocurrency gains in Portugal. Some of my other good friends who have done this, they have expatriated, not the word, from the US. Crypto tips. You can follow them on YouTube, on Twitter. Great guys. And they currently they're basically kind of living in Indonesia at the moment because he's a big surfer, surfs the massive waves. So yeah, they got rid of their US citizenship, moved to Portugal. They love traveling. Why not? You don't have the government following you around trying to take every penny out of your pocket. You can go and live the lifestyle that you want. It's not for everyone. I get it. Malta. This is a scammer. I will block that. That's some free hopium. Rothschilds and BlackRock have bought more BTC in the last 60 days than any whales in history. They own part of Grayscale, MicroStrategy, ARK Invest, Tesla, and just bought my two pet spelling grammatical errors. Bought, not brought. 100,000 mining rigs. But thank you for the comment, Andy. Than and bought, BOUGHT. Yeah, they are doing big things. BlackRock, they are getting into the space and going in heavy. But remember to always check the chart. Check your chart, because although they might be buying, they also buy to then sell at a small increase. They'll buy it up to test, is the market going up? Then they sell it off to test if there is still any support left. If they notice there's no support left, then they're not going to keep buying, right? They just sacrifice some profit to understand where the market is. It's a false thought that when we see whales buying, meaning that they buy and hold. That's not the Wyckoff game. That's not how it works. They will buy to keep testing it. They have to buy some ammo to keep shooting it at the market, seeing whether we got any more sellers. No more sellers and the price shoots up. Great. Let it fall. Let's see where that support sits. If it does sit up, means there's more buyers coming in at higher prices. That's what you want to find. Higher highs, higher lows. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't mean if whales are buying that the market has to go up, because they still have to play the game. They don't know where each other are at either. They don't care about retail. It's always like retail versus whales. It's nonsense. It was an article that I put up a while ago that said retail had like 5% of the worth or something like that in crypto, and they were controlling 95% of it. They don't give us a rat's ass about retail money. If we're looking at it in terms of those sort of numbers, they're playing against each other, big money versus big money, and they want to psych each other out and see where it's all at. That makes the most sense to me. If you still want to believe the narrative of BitBoy's narrative, they're manipulating us and blah, 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 you go right ahead. Accumulation process. It is. We're not sure yet. Let's see what happens. I can't say. And I could be a YouTuber and say, definitely yes or definitely no. I don't know yet. It's looking like a redistribution at the moment. But we could get that test down and then jump back into this zone of 30 to 38 8, then we would say, wow, maybe this is the accumulation zone, but we're just not sure just yet. Need a few more signals. And that's why we're doing our dollar cost averaging plan and buying, because we don't know. It could go into the 20s. It could stay where it is, but at least we've been buying. Lockdown for you poor souls in Sydney and Melbourne. Book recommendations, 100% real Secret Life of Real Estate and Banking. Otherwise, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. And actually, I should put a post up on Twitter about that. Best book recommendations in trading. You guys in the comments will probably have some good suggestions as well. It's been good. No, I just asked for your opinion. Don't trust him. Don't trust him one bit. And honestly, you don't have to trust me either. Go and do your own research as well. Like, I'm just reading this stuff. I'm watching stuff online. I'm talking to other people. I'm, as I said, watching other things online. And then I just formulate an idea and I execute it as best as I possibly can and then share it online. That's pretty much the process here. Cool. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm going to do another one. I'm hoping to do another one tomorrow because I'm enjoying this stream process. So if you enjoyed it, let me know. Make sure you've liked the stream. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to the channel, bell notification icon. Subscribe so you can comment in the comment section. It's what you got to do. Look, I'll chat to you guys on Instagram. On Twitter, because I've got a lot of stuff coming up as well. The Investor Accelerator, find a link to that down below if you want to join us over there. Or if you want a free newsletter, also leave your email address down below. Free newsletter once every 2 weeks on cryptocurrencies, stocks, and the real estate cycle. A lot of stuff we talked about here, but in detailed report form. So check all those links out, and I'll catch you guys soon. Comment and like. Let me know if you're enjoying the live streams. It helps me out a lot so that I know what I'm putting into the next one. Thanks, Alex. Liking the stream method. And as we continue regularly, I'm sure they're getting shorter. So we've got 46 minutes today. Look at that. Half the time that I did yesterday. Surf report is flat. It's very flat out there this morning. I actually put a quick video on my Instagram. Very, very flat out there this morning. But it looks mint. It looks beautiful for winter. I'm going to go for a swim. Grab some lunch, go for a swim. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll stop jibber-jabbing and go and check out my brother Michael Pizzino on YouTube after this. If you don't like all of the whiff-waff that I do, he is very succinct and to the point. Michael is fantastic. I'll leave a link to that as soon as I get off the stream. Thanks once again, guys. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow with some other fantastic thumbnail. And then we'll chat then. Okay.